What's going on, good people? Excuse me there. Welcome back to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Uh, got a quick, hopefully quick, review for you of AIW's Death Row event this past Saturday that I attended. I know we said for the upcoming videos we're going to be doing on camera, but the room's kind of messed up where I'm at right now. And I'm not even really looking at the screen. I'm looking at my phone for my notes. So um, I just put the overlay up, make it a little bit easier. But let's kind of get into this show. Like I said, I went to this show this past Saturday. Um, if you don't know, AIW is a promotion out of Cleveland, Ohio. And this was Rowe's last match in AIW before he goes to Hanson in War Machine. So I definitely had to go. But let's get into the show. Um, our opening match was the Iron Demon Shane Mercer versus Matthew Justice. I thought this was a decent opening match. There were a few kind of botched and missed spots here and there that I noticed. But all in all, it was a good match. Nice suicide dive by Matthew Justice, followed by him grabbing a beer can from one of the fans and smashing it on his head. I thought that was pretty funny. He also borrowed a fan's cane to use as a weapon, and then graciously returned it, which I thought was funny too. It took me a bit to get into this match, I will admit, but it turned out to be a pretty good match. Matthew Justice belly to bellied Shane Mercer into the corner. This was one of the botches that I noticed, where Shane's feet were supposed to get caught on the top turnbuckle and kind of be caught in the Tree of Woe. It didn't work, but he did catch himself, and Shane caught himself and kind of flipped back up and hooked his own leg, which, you know, he saved the spot, but it was painfully obvious that it was messed up. So it was kind of funny, but at least, you know, they were professional enough to kind of recover the spot there. The winner was Matthew Justice, which didn't surprise me. Definitely a decent match, I'll say. Then we had Parker Pierce and Big Twan Tucker versus Weird World. I can't talk today. Love Weird World, one of my favorite tag teams from AIW. This match was great. You know, there was one sort of, I won't say failed suicide dive, but almost failed suicide dive. And I forgot who did it, but his feet got caught on the middle rope a little bit. It wasn't as bad as the Ivory suicide dive that we always talk about, but it was his feet definitely got caught. Luckily, he was able to still do the suicide dive without injuring himself or anybody else. The winners of this match were Pierce and Tucker. Again, really good match. I enjoyed it. Then we had the Production versus No Consequences. I definitely like No Consequences. No Consequences. I don't know why I can't talk today. I definitely like them, even though, you know, the Production are our boys. You know, there was one spot where drop kicked Frankie's head into Magnum's ding ding. That poor man, that he didn't deserve that. He don't deserve that. There was a nice backstabber by Frankie that I liked. Only got a 1 count, which a couple fans around me were kind of upset with that it only got a 1 count, kind of killing the backstabber right there. Definitely, like I said, a really good match. I liked it. The production won. But moving on, we had Jonathan Wolf versus Malcolm Monroe the third. Um, I like this match too. There was a quick start, fast paced, sort of feeling out period in this match. Um, Lots of good lucha things. I had to put that in my notes. If for nothing else, at least for DJ when he watches this. But not sure if I'm sold on Wolf. Hopefully, I'll see him wrestle again. I just wasn't really sure on him. Um, he did do a nice running power bomb um, to the guardrail on the outside, which looked painful. Um, there was also a double super kick, kip up, another. I think it was another double kick into another kip up, into a Hulk up, and then they both fell, which was a really funny spot. I love spots like that. Um, then there was a nice top rope pile driver by Malcolm. The winner was Malcolm Monroe the third. Definitely a good match. Again, like I said, just not sure if I'm sold on Wolf yet. I definitely want to see him wrestle again. So hopefully I'll be able to. Um, it just, I don't know. I don't know. Um, then we had a little bit of an intermission. So you can kind of, you know, get drinks, food, whatever. Before the show, and then in the intermission, they had Keith Lee out. Juice Robinson was out. Rowe was out for pictures, autographs, selling merch and stuff, which was pretty cool. Um, Along with some other just AIW stars out there. Frankie was out with the production. Um, but I definitely like that they do a intermission. Not all indie shows do intermissions, so you kind of it gives you a little bit of a break from the action. Getting back to the show, we had a 6-man tag team match. The production versus No Consequences again. Um, there was a lot of strikes and chops in this match that seemed weak to me. I don't know why. Just a lot of the chops and like strikes and forearms seemed really weak in this match. I don't know why. Good isolation by the production on different members of No Consequences. I definitely like that. Um, there was a cool spot. There were some cool spots, I should say, like the power bomb out of the ring onto 4 of the competitors that I liked. I forgot who was power bombed out, but definitely cool spots there. Winners in this match were No Consequences. Um, Moving on to what I thought was going to be the semi-main event. It was not. It was, and my dogs are barking for some reason. It was the semi main event, I guess you would say. Um, Dominic Carini versus Juice Robinson. This was one of the matches that I was definitely looking forward to. And one of the main reasons I decided to, at the last minute, get tickets for this show, other than Rowe, obviously. Good match, though. Dom got a takedown on Juice in the beginning of the match. Juice rolls out and says, "I'm not an MMA guy," which I thought was pretty funny. I did like the contrast in styles in here. Obviously, Dominic is more of an MMA guy, where Juice Robinson is not. Winner was Dominic via submission. Definitely hope they bring back Juice Robinson again. I like him. I know some people don't. I do. Moving on to the semi-main event, we had a fatal or a four-way number one contenders tag team match. We had the PMX Friend Experience. Can't read either. Uh, Dedication personified, the Young Studs, and To Infinity and Beyond. This quickly broke down. Um, the definitely action-packed, fast-paced, kind of hard to keep up with just because there's so many people in the match. You kind of, you know, trying to watch, these guys on the outside and then trying to focus on who's in the ring and kind of, it was crazy. Dedication personified did steal the victory with a roll up there, which it was a good match. Was not who I expected to win, but I like when you kind of expect a certain team to win and then some like a dark horse in your opinion wins. I didn't expect them to win, like I said. And then moving on to the main event, we had Keith Lee versus Rowe. I believe this was Keith Lee's debut in AIW and Rowe's last match in AIW, obviously. Um, Definitely was excited about this match. The banter between the two and, you know, in the match in general was great. Um, Keith Lee is hilarious, and Rowe is a really good personality too. I don't think you see it that much in his matches with like War Machine, but he's definitely a funny guy. Um, we had one of the best tester strengths I've seen in a while. Definitely liked it. Um, Rowe monkey flipped Keith Lee, who landed on his feet, which was impressive. Um, Rowe Superman punched Lee um, in the ring. Lee rolls out and uh, starts complaining that Ray hits harder now because the fans are cheering for him. He's like, he's hitting harder now. What's wrong with you people? Which I thought was pretty funny. Like I said, he's just a really funny guy. Just in matches, um, when you meet him, he's a really cool guy. Um, Lee did win by a lucky fall onto Rowe, where he kind of did just collapse on him for the pin. Um, I did like that because I think obviously, going out, you want to put somebody over. But I think in this case, it's, I don't know. I liked how they did it. Um, After the match, the roster kind of comes out for Rowe's farewell. Um, Josh Prohibition comes out and kind of talks about how um, he trained Rowe and the history between the two, how they had a falling out for a couple years and finally they reunited, and basically moral of the story, forgiveness is a good thing. You don't want to keep a grudge against somebody because you never know what might happen. You never know what tomorrow brings. um Rowe also talked a little bit about his motorcycle accident he had, and um how his wrestling career from up to this point and kind of going to WWE now. um Talked about how just how he kind of came up in the business and everything. I definitely liked it. Um, but like I said, I'm trying to get this to be a short, quick review. I could have gone deeper into the matches, but I didn't want it to make this too long. Um, and I was gonna try to do this Saturday night, but I was in the hotel and I didn't want to be too loud because there were people in the next room. So it's a little bit late, a little bit short, but gets the job done. Um, we will be back tonight for our Raw 25 review. We are actually going to do a review for Raw just because it's so big. For the 25th anniversary, we'll be doing that. Um, Either tomorrow night or Wednesday, we'll be doing. Possibly tomorrow night, we'll do our Royal Rumble predictions. And then Wednesday night, we'll do our takeover predictions, or we might do them both Wednesday night. I don't know yet, but be sure to check in for that. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter at ICW_podcast. Uh, Go check out our Facebook page at or at ICW podcast. Um, Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, all that fun stuff. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and we will see you a little bit later.